There. It's a new video being made. Woo, everyone rejoice! Fuck each other in the ears. It's almost as good as the time gay marriage got entirely legalized in all of the United States. So, yes, this is the Wing Gundam Zero U. I assume that stands for Endless Waltz. Yes, this is a Gundam model. One of the ones that you piece together bit by bit, and sometimes maybe you stick stickers on it, or you paint it, or... What is that weird sound? Is that my speakers? Oh, I do believe I have them far too loud. You can hear the static from my shitty dollar store speakers, which I did not actually buy at a dollar store. But anyways, this is actually special in that it's part of the Real Grade series, or at least I think that's what RG stands for. I'm not even going to come up with other things that RG could stand for, but I assume it's for Real Grade. And I've heard that these are incredibly difficult to put together. However, somebody has managed it. You want proof? It's right here. Yes, my very own little giant robot, who's very poorly put together. Yeah. I have a few issues with this little model here. Out of curiosity, I decided I would try to build myself a Gundam model, and well, at Fan Expo, I found a few. However, this was the only one they had of my favorite Gundam. So, I bought this one on a whim, not knowing jack shit about Gundam models. Even though I probably should have done plenty of research beforehand, so my bad. First things first is, something I didn't know at first, is that you need several tools in order to fully actually do a model properly. Scissors and an X-Acto knife. Now, I thankfully have all my fingers. I might actually have more than what I started with. But I had no idea that I actually needed those to properly build a model. Next thing is that they come with these little stickers that I do not feel like putting on because I actually like the way it looks without them. And it's advised that you use a pair of tweezers. Now, I wouldn't mind this if the instructions had told me that. And then we get to our second issue. They know that a bunch of Americans really like Gundam. And that a bunch of Americans, i.e. most Americans, do not read, speak, or at all know any real Japanese. So, they include their instruction manuals entirely in Japanese. Which, okay, that's fine. I mean, this was a Japanese model. I wasn't supposed to buy it because I'm not in Japan. However, Bandai, why the fuck don't you bring Gundam models over here anymore? When I was a kid, I knew another kid that had a shit ton of Gundam models. And my fucking god, were they glorious because he read the instructions. Well, actually, it was because he could read the instructions. But anyways, on to the model itself. It's got a few blemishes here and there, and that's mostly because this is A, my first time building a Gundam model, B, I'm a fucking Nimrod. Now, the first thing I notice when looking at this model is that the wings look odd. Not bad, just odd. Mind you, I do think the sculpt on certain things is rather nice. You can see plenty of detail in the wings, or at least you could if the lighting was proper. And the other parts themselves, such as the knee joints, hands, and even the face have a nice amount of detail. Pieces are actually all just one solid color. As you can see, gray pieces are gray, and that little mouthpiece is pure white. I did, however, have a little bit of an accident with the headpiece, which came off when I tried to clean it with the X-Acto knife and wound up tearing off a chunk. However, I just made up a cute little lie saying that it got damaged while fighting bad guys, or Oz, or whatever the fuck they're called nowadays. So yes, this was actually a very grueling task to do. In fact, it was pretty much 3 days of me trying to figure out the instructions because I'm a fucking moron and the Canadian education system failed me for nearly 15 straight fucking years. Also because the instructions are in Japanese and they're not exactly clear and they like to use little symbols that I had to fucking Google, partly because they're in Japanese. I'm sorry, I cannot stress that enough. Translate these in English. But yes, I did have a little bit of difficulty with this one. However, this is something I would totally do again because it was oddly fun. And not to mention it gave me something to talk to my dad about, which is always a plus. So, this model, despite having taken me 3 or so days, was very fun to put together. It's 1/144th the size of a real Gundam, because Gundams are not real, unless you're counting that giant fucking statue that they put up in Japan, or was that Spain? I think Spain's the one with the Mario statue, I'm not sure. But anyways, this is actually a really nice model. It's very detailed, it would be well constructed if I didn't have my head up my ass. And I do think it's really quite nice. In fact, it's actually quite adorable. And it is the perfect size for, you guessed it, comparing to other toys. Such as this one. I smell a jump cut! Let's face it, no matter what you do this week, it will never be as awesome as this.